He's Bill Ryder, and he's righter than you.
The program Righter Than You, sometimes.
He's a fan.
I love sports so much.
He's in your face.
I will destroy those obnoxiously arrogant, clueless, tone-deaf superstars who are marginal players, good players, who made careers, who think they're Hall of Famers.
He's nice.
I promise, we're nice here.
He's humble.
I think I'm pretty good if you're on the show about admitting if I got it wrong.
Live from Los Angeles, here's Bill Ryder.
All right, Wednesday show. What's going on? Let's get the rigmarole out of the way. BillRyder.substack.com. You can also watch the show wherever you get any of your podcasts, including Spotify or Apple Podcasts. The only advantage of Substack, if you want to try to engage over there, is there are no ads. And if you pay to be a paid subscriber, if you're a paid subscriber, you can watch the entirety of the show. And we throw a little 3, 4, 5, 6 minute video clip up if you're just curious what's going on. Stuart Kovac's in the house today. He'll be here, as always, in just a few minutes. He's a Raiders fan, so that should be interesting. WBC, craziness, silliness. We've got Bam Adebayo pretending to be, or maybe just, being like Wilt Chamberlain and Kobe Bryant. There's so many things to get to. But I'm going to try to restrain my anger. There are some things that just piss me off in sports or in life. And you probably all have had, hopefully you've discarded this person, this friend before. The person who cheats at golf, I play tennis, calls stuff out when he knows that it's in, deals from the bottom of the deck. I've seen this before a couple times in the home poker game with the buddies. The guy that is cool or maybe fun, but you learn over time you can't trust. Who's a scumbag, who's a liar, who will lift money out of your pocket if you give him a chance. I once was having dinner with some buddies, and I left my phone at the table. And we did the 3 or 4 way split, right? They bring out the credit card slip. You all sign. You all do it. It was a nice dinner. And so we all agreed to a certain level of tip. 20%. I can't remember. And I always make sure because I don't want the server to get screwed because somebody's cheap. If that's the case, I'll just up it a little bit. That's fine. Somebody else wants to go 15%. I'll go 25%, all good. And I go back to get my phone, and one of these guys I'm talking about had put $0 on the tip and told us, it's a big bill, that he'd done whatever we'd all agreed to. There are just some people out there that you work with, that you hang with, that you socialize with, that are part of your group, sometimes that you can't avoid, that you find out the hard way, the most difficult ways, can't be trusted. That is the Baltimore Ravens. They are that scumbag. They are that guy. Because not just the news yesterday, after yesterday's pod was over, that their trade with the Raiders for Max Crosby, game record, great pass rusher, big gamble it was with the Raiders. 2 first-round picks that went back to Vegas. First time the Ravens in a generation had traded away a first-round pick, let alone 2, this year's and next year's, for Crosby. And we all kind of celebrated, right? It was kind of a, wow, that's bold, that's big, that's interesting. It gives the Raiders a rebuild. It gets Crosby, who had a toxic relationship with Vegas, out of there. And it gives Baltimore the chance to say, what the bleep, we're going to go for it. We got this Lamar Jackson window. We're going to make it happen. We're going to get it done. This is absolutely amazing. And that was before. And then they just went back on it. Play the physical card. And you probably know this because you're listening to or watching a sports podcast. But almost always, when a team later in the process says that someone didn't pass the physical, it usually just means that the team who is doing the physical and acquiring the player got cold feet and changed their minds. And that is what it felt like. And then today,
breaking news.
This is a recorded podcast, but in the last hour of this recorded podcast, less than that, the breaking news came out. Turns out that the Ravens went out there and got Trey Hendrickson, same position, defensive end, great player, was a Bengal, and gave him a bunch of money. So they get an outstanding player at that position. They don't have to give up 2 first-round picks. More breaking news. We got more. Lamar Jackson came out today from Schefter and other insiders, had restructured his deal to the tune of about $40 million in cap space this year, which again gives them the latitude to do this and some other moves without giving up the draft picks. But the thing is, while you can do it technically, while you can leave 0 on the tip, well, I guess you can kick your ball out of the rough if you're playing for money against your boys, whatever the comparison is, even though it's kind of in the gray, it's a scumbag move by the Baltimore Ravens. Because all of these other machinations, all these other dominoes had fallen as a result of Baltimore making the move. We talked yesterday about the fact that the Raiders had a incredibly stellar free agency series of moves yesterday. Brought in a couple outstanding linebackers, went and got an incredible offensive lineman from center from Baltimore, re-signed some of their own guys. All this under the math, predicated under the idea that Crosby was gone, that his contract was gone, these first-round picks were coming in, they could fill holes this way, and all these other moves started to happen around the National Football League. And so when the Ravens pull out of this thing with their backup plan with Hendrickson, it starts to look like cold feet. Okay. It also looks like an organization that's done this, by the way, before, has played this physical card before. It also looks like an organization that didn't just realize they could get Hendrickson, that also they could absolutely hose over, screw over, play games with the Raiders and some other teams. It's in bad faith. It's not honoring the deal that you made. And credit to the Raiders. By the way, how bad do you have to be as an organization? How awful and distrustful and toxic and off-putting and untoward do you have to be as an organization for me to be saying with a straight face, man, those Raiders are classy by comparison? That's not a thing I've said in a long time. It's not a thing you've thought in a long time. Even Stu, who's here, who's a Raiders fan, hasn't thought that the Raiders are classy in a very, very long time. But the reporting today is the Raiders are going to